For those people who think that yoga is too easy, here's a strong practice for you. It's going to build strength in your legs, your core, and your arms. We're going to do lots of push-ups. So get ready, grab a strap, and let's get going. So let's start standing and really feel your feet ground. And your feet can be about hips width apart, maybe a little bit wider. And let's start by just doing some easy twists, like helicopter twists, I guess you could call it. And be really deliberate in the twists, feeling your core begin to fire, because we're going to need it. So you could do this slow or you can do it fast, but just be mindful of just how the obliques work to turn and to keep you stable in the twists, but also help get you a little deeper in the twist. And these twists are really important as we get older, because we forget to twist when we're doing things like running and walking. We do a subtle twist, not as significant as this one. You can even bend the knees. I'm bending my knees just a little bit. You can always really make the twist much wider by really swinging the whole body around. That's really not necessary. So now let's keep our arms out to the side and then open the palms up to the sky and ground your feet and open the chest. Now, the top of the pelvis is going to tilt back a little bit. So start tilting the pelvis back. And you should feel your core engage here. So really feel the top of the pelvis tilting back. So this is a little bit of a back bend. And now see if you can move this back bend a little bit more into the thoracic cavity, the thoracic spine. Open up the chest. So find the point where it's strong, but it's manageable. Now inhale, raise your hands to the sky. Feel a good stretch here. And exhale, fall forward. And just pedal out your feet for a little bit. Pedal out your legs, not pedal, just kind of swing back and forth, get some hips into this motion. So again, if you haven't done the Chaturanga prep, you might want to pause this and look at that one, because we are going to do some Chaturanga push-ups and down dog push-ups. So let's come back to stillness and ground to the feet, and let's inhale, put the hands to the shins and see if you can find a straight back. So this is going to engage the core a little bit, but try to push the thighs back and the crown of the head forward. You'll feel some extension, some traction in the spot here. And exhale. If your legs aren't bent, they probably should be as you fall forward. Place the palms, and let's come back into a plank. So let's begin our Chaturanga push-ups here. So you can do this knees down, or you can do it with me. Okay? So let's begin firing up the arms, firing up the core. So come forward a little bit, and then bend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push through so you can do a cobra or an upward facing dog. Really pull the chest through. Inhale. And then exhale, flip the toes, downward facing dog. Get the little thing off your mat. I had a little something on my mat. And pedal the feet here. So this is our first one. We go a little slower in the first one. Remember, in a downward dog, you're pressing in through the fingers, the knuckles of your fingers, rather than putting too much pressure in your wrist. That's going to engage your forearms. And really press in. That's going to engage the shoulders as well. And then let's step forward into a forward fold. So you can keep your hands on the mat, or you can put your hands on your shins. You can put your hands on your thighs and press the thighs back as you come into a halfway lift. Get some extension here. Exhale, forward fold. And so you come up into ragdoll if you want, or you can use the flat spine to come on up. So inhale. Open up, stretch. Remember, tilt the top of the pelvis back. And then exhale, fall forward. These are very, very basic moves right now. So inhale, halfway lift, get the extension, and then exhale, step back into a plank. So get your body stabilized first. And then come forward, do your push-ups. So again, you can do this knees down. 3, 4, 5. And then press up into an up dog. Really pull the chest forward. Sternum up. And then come back into a downward dog. So I like to kick my feet back a little bit. Get a little bit more movement. So this is the second one. We'll do a third. See, there's just our warm-ups. So get a feel. So was the second 5 too disturbing for you? If so, you might want to do knees down or skip them all together and just stay in a cobra upward facing dog. So let's inhale, step forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees if you need to. You can keep your knees bent. In fact, it's usually preferable if you have tight hamstrings. So flat back if you want, or you can just do a straight up ragdoll. I'll show you what the ragdoll looks like. So inhale, open the chest. Remember, tilt the top of the pelvis back to help ground you. And then exhale, fall forward. Knees bent, straight, depending upon your hamstrings. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back. Ground yourself. Really claw the mat with your hands so you're not putting too much pressure on your wrist. Now, come forward. Bend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come up. Upward facing dog. Really get a nice opening here. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Obviously, downward facing dog is technically a lot more intermediate because it is very taxing on the arms, on the shoulders. So anytime in this practice, feel free to take a rest into a child's pose. But I'm always getting a solid feel for what my feet are doing, how my feet are feeling, my shins, my calves, my ankles. So let's inhale, step forward. You can hop if you want to do that, but it's still too early. Let's halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now let's do a little strength of your legs. So let's bend the knees deep. So your feet are hips width, if not wider. You can even keep them even wider than your hips for a lot more stability. See if you can bend up to 90 degrees here. And see how that feels. You can use your hands to pull your torso up. And this is going to feel the extension in the spine right here. So your torso doesn't have to be completely upright, but get a feel for the tension in your legs. And feel the core engage as you press your thighs away. And if you'd like, you can extend your arms. If you'd like, you can come onto your toes. If you come onto your toes, see if you can drop a little bit further down. But to keep the torso up. Strong here. And then exhale. Straighten the legs. Come into a forward fold. That was strong, huh? Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms down. You can step back into plank. Let's do it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Okay, so here's where we do a little bit more. So pedal the feet out. All right. So draw the right leg behind you. And feel the stability here. And then bring the right leg down, left leg up. Feel the stability here. So we're just checking in with our bodies here. And you ask yourself, so bring the left leg down, ask yourself, can I do some push-ups in this pose? And I think you can. All right, so lift the right leg behind you. And now let's push off from here. So let's do it. 1, 2, it's a little bit different. 3, 4, remember elbows back. 5. And then press up into downward facing dog, one-legged dog. And so draw the right foot in. So what I like to do is I like to drag the foot and then come on up. So right foot meets the right thumb. So let's find this lunge here. So this is the first time we're in this posture. So feel how good this feels, relatively speaking. So the back toes are still tucked. So you can use your hands, but use the core as well. So remember, the core is strong. So You can have the arch back, but that sends too much pressure into your legs. You can help the core. So engage the core here by tucking in the belly and press. So it's a leg press in the right leg. So the core is still engaged here. So a little right angle between your torso and your thigh. Draw the palms up. And I always like to do a side bend here. So left arm overhead. Just a little bit of side bend, but it's also really helps the top of the left thigh. Top of the left hip. The bottom of the left hip. And so let's drop the back heel, open up into a warrior two. So don't be so concerned about the placement of the heel and the toe. Just get a good stable distance here. And ground the front toes. So you can even raise the heel to make sure that you're grounding in through that toe. Spread the palms. Get that strong extension through the arms. Now flip the front palm, left arm touches the left leg and just reach back just for a moment. And then let's come down into a side bend. So here, don't feel that you have to touch the ground. The key is here is you want to use the right arm to really bring your chest open. And I like to bring my left palm behind me, or you can reach it to the sky or reach an arm overhead. You decide what feels good for you. But again, to help me open the chest, I like to keep my arm behind me. And you should feel a lot of stretching in the left thigh. You feel a lot of strengthening in the right thigh. So you're pushing the right thigh away from you with your right arm. Let's come onto the back toes. Place your hands. So find a little stability here. And place your left hand a little bit further away from your right toe. So it's just maybe a hand's distance away from your right toe. And let's do a little bit of a twist here. So bring the right arm overhead. Make sure the right knee isn't tracking too far away from the hip, so it's not really bending out, just kind of still staying closed, because that's a different posture. And then come on down. Now bring your left palm back, meet your right palm, and step the right foot back. So let's do some more Chaturanga push-ups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, upward facing dog. Notice I don't really flip my toes, I turn my toes, because that just feels icky for me. You might like to do that, I don't. It's really pressing with the top of your feet if you're in upward dog. And then press back, downward facing dog. To get a sense of how this feels. So again, just anytime you feel you need a rest, you can go down into a child's pose and pick up whenever you feel like it. So really ground the right foot, left leg just draws up. It doesn't have to be an arch, it just has to just be an extension from your hip. Really press in through the palms, the fingers. And now let's do some push-ups here. So 1, press back. 2, press back. 3, 4, elbows back. 5. Press back. Draw the left foot forward very, very mindfully and step it through. And make sure there's a stable distance. So you're not like on one line. So you can have your feet kind of wider apart. But you decide what feels stable for you. So let's get a feel for the core helping you bring your torso up. So you can press into your thigh with your hand, or you can see if you can use your front leg to do a little leg press. So raise your arms overhead. Really make sure that this thigh, best as possible, is parallel to the ground and the torso is perpendicular. And let's bend over. All right, let's come back up, straighten the torso, and then open the right arm behind you as the right leg steps the heel down. So open the shoulders, ground through the front toe, the big toe. So again, you can raise your heel to make sure that you're really grounding through that toe, and ground the outer back foot into the mat and feel the stability here. So you really press in with the big toe of the front foot. You should feel the quad muscles engage. At least I do. And so the hip isn't jutting out like this, it's kind of tucked in. So the knee and hip are somewhat in line. So let's flip the front palm and just extend the arm behind you, up overhead. Get a nice stretch here. And so again, let's come forward so the elbow can rest on the thigh, or it can just be pressing in. So you can raise your right arm overhead behind you, or you can just kind of rest it on your back. But really get this sense of this twist. So you'll feel a little tugging of the groin muscle of your left thigh. Let's really get the opening here. So the left arm is pressing up against the thigh. The thigh is pressing up against the arm. So they're working with one another to make you strong and stable. All right, so let's come back onto the back toes. Place the palm, place the right palm just a little bit further ahead. That just makes it a little bit more stable, so you're also not jarring into the right shoulder. Let's do a little bit of a twist. So again, the left leg isn't jutting out. It's just kind of still pointing towards the front of your mat. Let's do a twist. So check in with your breath. If you're breathing too hard, maybe you can take a break. That's no harm in that. In fact, it's probably beneficial to you. And so let's bring the right hand back and the left hand to meet it. And let's step back. Let's do some Chaturanga push-ups here. So 1, 2. You don't have to go all the way down. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come forward a lot. Press in with the toes. Get the extension in the sternum. And then exhale. Downward facing dog. So again, you can just step forward into a forward fold, you decide. So, or you can jump. But anytime you jump, you want to land softly. So you can step forward or you can jump with me. So I'm gonna let's do a little springy action. Come into a forward fold. Alrighty. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And let's bend the knees a lot. So just get a feel for how low you want to go. You can go into a squat, but that wouldn't be very, very smart. And find your flat spine as you come up best as possible. So your core should be really fired up. So use the hands to press your torso away. You feel your belly engage. Hopefully. You can maybe even step or come a little bit further down. And you can ground through the heels here. That's going to be a little bit more stable. Or you can come onto your toes. Just do this all with mindfulness. Don't do it because you want to beat anybody, you want to get good at yoga. You do this because you want to be strong. You have to make sure that you're not doing it past your edge. Just find the edge here. Core is on fire, legs on fire here. Shaking yet? All right, extend the leg straight. Come into a forward fold, get a little bit of rest. Alrighty. Swing a little bit. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms down. Step back into plank. Here we go. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, upward facing dog. Open the shoulders, draw the chest through. It's like you're trying to pull your entire body through your arms. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So we're going to add a little bit, just a little, not much. So I like to bring my left foot in a little bit as I extend my right leg behind me. Now let's do some down dog push-ups. So here we go. 1, core strong. 3, 4, 5. Come back into downward dog, get a little bit of a lift here, and then draw the right leg through. Step forward. So you can move the left foot out a little bit to find a stable distance here. Sorry, I'm getting attacked in the books. All right, so find the stability here. So we do a lot of arms, and then we come up and do our legs. So let's help the legs and the core are working together to bring you up. The back leg can be straight, or the knee can be bent. You decide. So let's draw the left arm overhead. Let's get a little bit of a stretch here. We'll move a little bit faster. And let's open. So drop the back heel down, find a stable distance here. Open the shoulders. So again, ground the front foot, the big toe. So steady and strong. So back palm kind of reaches toward the back thigh. Right arm to the sky as you draw back. Really get that this can be pretty strong through your core if you're mindful. And then let's come forward to a little side angle. So again, you can rest or you can use this arm to help build a little bit of strength here. So you feel a side body stretch on the left and strengthening on the right. So now from here, if your arm is overhead, use that top arm to help bring you up back into Warrior Two and straighten the front leg and turn the front toes so they're parallel with the back toes. So here we are here. We're going to do a nice forward fold. It's going to feel kind of good. So let's find our flat back as we fold forward. So the thighs are pressing back. So maintain a strong, supple spine as we fall forward. So this should feel good. I like to bring my hands to the outside of my feet. You can do that, or you can just put your hands onto the mat. So wherever your hands are, walk your hands over to your left leg and place your right hand on your left ankle and see if you can do a little bit of a twist. So you're pulling with the right arm, you a little bit more into a twist. This should feel really good. So your right leg is still pressing into the mat. And now let's walking our hands to the front of the mat. Come on to the back toes. So the front foot faces forward again. And so remember, the left hand just is a little bit further away from your right toes. And come into a little bit of a twist here. So remember, your right knee isn't jutting out, it's staying close to your torso. And then place the palms, bring the left hand back in line with the right hand, step back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Press through the fingers. 5. Come up. And pull through. Open the shoulders. Press the mat away. And then come back into downward facing dog. Take a little bit of a break before we go on to the other side. So strong and steady here. So right foot comes in a little bit as you extend the left leg behind you. And here we go. 1, 2, core strong. 3, 4, 5. Press back into downward dog. And then draw the left foot forward. Find a stable distance for your feet. Let's come into our lunge. So bend the front knee, back knee a lot if you need to. That might help you come up a little easier. But figure out how you can use the core and your front leg to draw you up straight. So the back leg pushes away. Feel that strong back leg, but then also feel what it feels like if you feel both feet scissoring together. So the different actions of the feet will have different muscles engaged. So right arm raises ahead, up overhead. Let's bend over to the left. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, drop the right foot behind you. Right arm reaches behind you. Left arm reaches in front of you. Find steadiness here. So the left heel can raise to be sure that you're grounding through the toe mounts of your left foot. The right foot, outer foot is pressing, stabilizing. So again, feel what it feels like if you press the feet away from each other. Feel what it feels like when you try to pull them in. So different things are engaged here. So flip the front palm. Back arm reaches for the back thigh as you reach the left arm up and over. See if you can maybe gaze up at your left palm without you losing your balance. And then draw the left arm forward. You can use the left arm as a prop to press your left foot into it. So the right arm, it can reach overhead or it can reach behind you. You decide. So again, this really, really engages my left inner thigh better than a thigh master ever would. Maybe your left butt cheek is on fire now? Hopefully. So if your right arm is behind you, just raise it up to the sky. You can just kind of drop it over your head just for a moment, but then use it to draw the torso back up, extend the front leg straight, and twist the left toes perpendicular to your mat, the front of your mat. And so let's get a forward fold here. So let's just use a strong, extended spine to draw you forward. And I just realized that my bike shorts are see-through, so you might get a little peek show. So maybe you'll go a little bit deeper in this forward fold. You decide. I like to rock my hips just a little bit. So again, you can put your palms onto the mat. Really get a strong extended spine here. And if you do that, you actually will feel a lot of core engagement as you pull the hands back and you try to pull the hips forward. And then release and walk the hands over to the right leg. So again, use the opposite hand to grab the ankle and do a pull here. So you're pulling a little bit deeper into the twist. You actually feel a lot of beautiful stretch and strengthening in the lats, a lot of the muscles in behind the shoulder and the upper back. That feels good. All right, so we've been off of our hands for a little bit, so let's walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Turn your toes towards the front of the mat. So extend the right arm just a little bit ahead of the left foot. And do one more twist before we do our Chaturanga Push-Ups. All right, left palm comes down, right hand comes to meet in the same line. Press into plank. Let's do it 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come forward. Pull the chest through, the legs through. Feel the extension. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Take a moment. So if I do this pedaling enough with my feet, the toes actually stop cracking after a while, so it's a good thing. All right, you decide, do you want to step? Do you want to hop? You can handstand, but I'm not doing this. So I'm going to bend my knees, look forward, jump. All right, last one. So, let's bend the knees a lot. Bend the knees deep, 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 deep. So, belly starts to engage as you come up. Press the thighs away from you. So feel your core engage here. So this might be all you, but you can also dig a little bit deeper. Always pressing the thighs away. The core is engaged. You can raise your arms to the sky. You can come onto your toes. See if you can bring your thighs parallel. Keep breathing. If your breath is labored, you might need to back off a little bit. If you're shaking, that's fine. All right, inhale, straighten the legs, bow. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step back into plank. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come forward. Upward facing dog, open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right. So again, we're going to move a little faster this third time before we go down onto to do some core work. Kind of sort of. All right. So bring the left leg in just a little bit, just a couple of inches. Inhale, right leg extends behind you. Feel your glutes engage. And let's 1, 2. Notice my elbows are always in line with my torso, my ribs. I think that's my 5th one. Extend the leg. and draw the foot towards your right hand. All right. So find your way up to lunge. Make sure it's stable. Strong core, strong legs. Let's do a side body stretch. Stretch over to the right. Now left arm reaches behind you, come onto the back heel, coming to your warrior two. So these are very, very basic postures. Nothing too complicated, right? But by staying a little bit longer in the postures, it gives you a little different feel. It's where you build strength and stamina, if that's what you want. So flip the front palm, extend the arm overhead, and then exhale. Come into a side body stretch, but also a leg strengthener. So arm can reach overhead. Get this beautiful stretch here. So that might be what's good for you, or you can reach behind. So you can use your left arm to kind of guide you back up into the warrior two. Straighten the right leg, bring the toes around parallel. Parallel to the front of your mat. So let's find. So before we go into our forward fold, let's do a little fun stuff here. So your toes right now are parallel. Bring your heels in just a scotch. You can do this a little bit more, but you find a stable distance here. Now lots of times we pooch our butt out. See if we can tuck our tailbone in and see if we can sink a little bit deeper. So let's clasp the hands behind you and feel some strengthening here. Ground through the heels, ground through the feet. There should be some buoyancy here. So let's just move from side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, straighten the legs, release the palms. Bring the feet back to parallel. And let's forward fold. So you can widen your legs a little bit or a lot. We'll just get a little bit of a forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift. Get some extension in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. So we already did the stretch in the back legs. Let's just move. Let's keep moving. Let's move the feet towards the front of the mat, hands towards the front of the mat. The left hand moves a little bit forward of the right foot. And let's do a twist here. And then exhale, come on down. Both hands in line with one another. Step back. Here we go. 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Core strong. 4, 5. Inhale. Come forward. Exhale. Downward dog. Did you like that, dog? Yeah. All right. Last side. Here we go. Left leg extends behind you. Here we go. 1. Core strong. 2, 3, 4, 5, press back down dog. One more extension here. Draw the leg through. Here we go. So I'm going to move my right foot out a little bit so it's a little stable distance. So find your lunge. So again, your core is, you're not doing a crunch, but you're using your core to stabilize you upright. So right arm reaches overhead, then move the torso, side body stretch over to the left. Inhale, come up straight. Exhale, drop the back heel, back arm, right arm behind you, left arm in front of you. Find the stable, steady distance here. Extend the arms away from one another. Feel the strength of pulling your arms away. Then grounding through the front big toe. Flip the front palm, right palm out towards the thigh. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, left elbow, left leg, arm reaches. So again, you can reach the arm behind you. You feel what's good for you. So use the right arm to help draw you back up. Straighten the front leg. Bring the feet back to parallel. Feel the little bit of a rest before we do our warrior crunches or our goddess crunches. So draw the heels a little bit in, so you can draw them in a lot. So they should be about, 45 degrees. So find the stability here. So there should be a little bit of bounce here. But again, the tailbone is tucked, so you're not getting lazy by arching like this. All right, hands clasped behind you. Let's do 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, come on up. Ooh, extend the legs. Feet back to parallel. Exhale, forward fold. Wide leg forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's walk the hands over to the front of the mat. Feet turn with you. And again, the right hand is just a little bit forward of the left toes. Do one last twist on this side. I'm a little self-conscious because people are walking by. So I'm a little subdued, a lot of subdued. All right, let's bring the left palm down. The right hand meets it. Come into plank. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come up. Whew. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, now we get to come into a nice, well-deserved child's pose. You can extend the arms straight or you can bring them back behind you. You decide what feels good. I actually like the stretch here. Okay, so if you have your strap nearby, you can grab it now. Just kind of tuck it next to you. So we're going to do a couple of Cobra positions. So come onto your belly and scoot your hips back a little bit, because lots of times we get a little too compressed there. And lots of times we do Cobra and we kind of squeeze the shoulders forward, but let's see if you can roll the shoulders back a little bit. And what I like to do is bring my hands really, really back, just below my shoulders, so that my shoulders are open. So let's inhale, and then exhale, pressing through the top of your thighs. Come into a Cobra. So again, your hands shouldn't be doing the work. It's your core. So the top of the thighs are pressing into the mat. The top of your pelvis is tilting back a little bit. So you might not come up as high, but that's fine. So let's come on down. Let's do one again. So inhale, exhale. So again, pressing the thighs into the mat, using the core. So you can even just kind of I guess you can press your butt down, so your butt cheeks aren't doing so much work. They're doing a little bit. But your core is really doing a lot of the work. And exhale, come on down. So we know that the strength is on the exhale, kind of when you do weightlifting. But then you obviously take a breath when you're doing. So inhale, exhale, come on up. You can still keep breathing here. And then exhale. All right, grab your strap, or if you want to clasp your hands behind you, that's fine. I find this to be a lot more accessible if I use a strap or these little bungees. So zip your legs behind you. So scoot your hips behind you. So your toes are really pressing in. And so again, if you're clasping your hands behind you, that's fine. What we're doing here is we're doing that same Cobra move, except we're bringing our arms and our legs up with us. So let's begin. So inhale, exhale, bring the chest up, arms up, and now lift your legs. Inhale, and exhale. Relax your hands for a moment. Let's do this one more time. So clasp your hands behind you, grab your strap. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, bring up the chest. Bring up the arms. Bring up your legs. So whole front body is really working. And then exhale, come on down, come onto your right cheek. You can let go of your strap here. I'm not going to come onto one cheek because this ground is very, very hard. All right, so let's come onto all fours. Let's do one more strength move before we come into a little bit of cool down. All right, so I'm going to take my watch off. So we haven't burned down our core by now. We're going to do it right now. So find a position for you. It could be just like this. You can just do a Sphinx pose the whole time. We're going to do 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You can do it. I'm going to move back a little bit. You can do it. 2 minutes. I know you can do it. All right. So if you're with me on the full forearm plank, let's get ourselves stable. You can keep your toes tucked or untucked, but let's go. 2 minutes. So press in through your hands. Make sure that your shoulders are in line with your elbows. Your core is engaged, your tailbone's tucked. Really pressing the feet into the mat. So your quads will actually be engaged here too. Just think your entire body is working to keep you upright. You can do it. Keep breathing deep. So anytime you feel yourself wanting to give yourself a break, just say, can I do 5 more seconds? You probably can. So we got a minute left. Press in through your hands. So you feel your shoulders engage when you do that. Press your shoulders so the collarbones, the shoulder blades are spreading apart. So there's a doming of the top, your torso, the top part of my spine, not the lower spine. So we've got 30 more seconds. If you need a break, go ahead and get a break, but you can join us at least for the last 20 seconds. 15. Squeeze the arms towards one another. Press through the hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop. Ooh. That was challenging. So spread the arms out wide. Give yourself a break. And come on to the left cheek. That rest is just as important as the strength move. All right, let's come on to all fours again. Come onto your butt. So you can face the front of the mat, but I'm going to face you. And make sure you can still see me. All right, so let's do a couple of seated twists before we come into Shavasana. We'll do a couple of twists. So you can cross your legs in front of you. So your shins are going to be parallel. Or you can move your right shin out a little bit further so your feet are like this. You decide what feels good for you. And so just get a feel for what you can maybe do in this moment. But we're going to do a little bit of a forward bend. So you'll feel a lot of hip stretch in the left leg. And anytime you're in a position like this and you feel too much ickiness in your knees, flex your feet. Or you can actually grab your knee and pull it towards you. So inhale, come on up. And so wherever your legs are here, I like to extend my right leg straight and put my heel onto the mat and cradle my left leg. So just get a little bit of a twist here. So pull the thigh towards you as you come into a little bit of deeper twist. Tilt up a little bit. It's a little bit better. So let's come on out. So just ease yourself out of the twist. Shake the legs out. So now we'll do the right leg. So again, the right shin on front, the left shin could be parallel with it. And you can just do the forward bend there. Or you can wrap the leg around like this, do the twist, or do the forward fold from there. Or you can join me this way. So it should be accessible to you. So inhale. And exhale, forward fold. So forward bends are usually reserved for the end of a practice because they are calming and relaxing. But it's important to balance that with some twists and some back bends, so your body's at least finding the opening as well as restoring. So all those are pretty important in any sort of yoga practice, is finding the balance. So we can always do a bunch of forward folds if we need to relax, but we also have to remember that we spend a lot of time in a somewhat of forward fold if you're sitting at a desk all day. So finding the opening in those back bends is always going to be beneficial for longevity. Inhale, come on up. So you can extend the leg forward and draw the right thigh towards you. Just grab a big hunk of it with your elbow, with your hand. So the right arm is going to extend behind you. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, soft twist. So the yoga practices are not meant to be complicated. Sometimes the more complicated they are, they can be good if you have too much busyness in your head, because it serves as a bit of distraction, but still rolls out the tension. So there's not anything wrong with overly complicated yoga classes, but eventually you lose your sense of body-mind awareness. And so slower practices such as these help with that. Inhale, spine straight. Exhale. Straighten up again. And so let's do one little forward fold. So inhale, spine straight, and see if you can bring your belly forward. So the aim is trying to have your belly reach your feet, which won't happen, but that's the aim. So it's not this, it's forward. And I like to put my hands underneath my calves to keep a little micro bend in my knees. So even though it's a forward bend, it's almost like a little bit of a back bend with the spine. Just a little bit. Because you're engaging the spine. You're engaging the core a little bit. You notice when you start a forward bend, you don't want to be jamming into the deepest part of your stretch. You let the stretch find you. Rather than the ego trying to find the deepest stretch. So very slowly, mindfully, just walk the hands. You come upright. And bring your feet towards the back of your mat. And we'll do just a couple more twists on our back. So let's draw the right leg in. Just get a little bit of mobility here. And with the left hand, draw the right knee over to the side. The right arm opens like a wing. Feel the opening in the right chest. I feel the soothing twist. Notice that it's a little bit easier on your back. Begin breathing deep. So you did a lot of push-ups today, so probably a little bit of tension in your arms. That's where we stretch. So inhale, draw the leg back into your chest. Give it a nice squeeze there. Bring the left knee in to meet the right and just kind of wiggle the hips back and forth. And then extend the right leg straight. And the left knee, grab it with the outside, grab it on the outside with the right hand. Extend the left arm out like a wing, just drape it and bring the left knee over to the right. Just let it fall, let the whole body fall. Feel the shoulder opening on the left side. Feel that stretch from all the push-ups. Feel the nice deep flips. Nice. Feel the good stretch. The outside of your left hip. So let's draw the left knee back into the chest. And bring the right knee in as well. Place your hands on top of your knees and try to press your knees up to the sky. The lower body drops into the mat. So one little bit of pressure in with the core. So your hands are pressing down, your knees are pressing up. Kind of like a reverse crunch, but not so exhaustive. And now let's extend the legs out straight. Open your palms. Open your arms. Open your shoulders. Extend your legs straight. Feet flop open. And let your body rest. So as we know, the harder you work, the more you need rest. And it's such a difficult thing for us to understand, especially if you're an athlete. We think, I have to keep training. I don't want a day off. But it's actually the strength building comes from the rest. So even if you're in a constant state of straining and striving and stressing, and you think, okay, I'll sleep when I die, see how long that can endure before everything falls apart. So it's not that work isn't important, but finding that right balance of work and rest. You need enough work to get you forward into your journey. But you also know when to rest. When to say, okay, I need to stop right now. This is a good place to stop. And do that. So softness is just as important in life as strength. So with any time, you know, if you want to stay here for a little while longer, you can do that. But you know, sometimes too much rest, you get lazy. We get complacent. So let's wake ourselves up from this rest. Stretch your arms overhead, like you're waking up from a nice nap. And when it's time, you just fall over to your right side or your left, it doesn't matter. Just a quick transition go from lying down very comfortably to sitting up. You need to ease into that as well. So when you're ready, use the top arm to press yourself up into a seated position. You might notice I'm in a different position myself. Take a few deep breaths on your own, honoring the stillness within. Take that inner stillness with you wherever you go. Recognize how important it is for us to have that inner solitude, that island of self, that refuge to self, everywhere we go, so we can be a voice of peace amidst the busyness of life. So place your palms together, thumbs at your heart, honoring the light that's in you. And I honor that light within you. Take care, namaste.